Jennifer from Colorado sent me this story. Your stories can also be published in my video. Send them over. The car sped along the winding forest road, narrowly avoiding trees. Behind the wheel was a young woman, her face stained with blood, body bruised as if she had escaped captivity. From her throat emerged muffled sobs and screams. She couldn't believe what had happened. This couldn't be real. In the 21st century, in an era of advanced technology, such things just didn't occur. As she drove, her mind raced back to the events that led to this nightmarish escape. It all began innocently enough. A vacation to a remote cabin in the woods. A chance to disconnect from the chaotic world. Little did she know that this retreat would turn into a nightmare. The first signs of something amiss were subtle, easy to dismiss as mere coincidence. Odd noises in the night, shadows that seemed to move on their own. But as the days passed, the occurrences intensified. Footsteps that echoed even when no one was around, whispers that sent shivers down her spine. Then, on a moonlit night, everything changed. A masked figure emerged from the darkness, wielding a menacing presence. Their eyes, devoid of humanity, stared into her soul. She felt a paralyzing fear grip her as the figure approached. In an instant, she found herself bound, helpless, subjected to unspeakable horrors. Yet, against all odds, she managed to break free. Bruised and battered, she fled into the night, the echoes of her pursuer fading in the distance. But the nightmare was far from over. As she raced through the desolate forest, fear fueled her every step. The canopy of trees seemed to close in around her, casting eerie shadows that danced with the wind. The woman, whom we'll call Dani, realized she was being pursued. The maniacal laughter of her tormentor echoed through the woods, a relentless reminder of the terror she had left behind. Dani's mind raced, piecing together fragments of the sinister puzzle. Who was this masked assailant, and why had they targeted her? Unanswered questions lingered in the air as she stumbled over roots and rocks in the darkness. Desperation set in as she sought refuge, knowing that her very survival depended on outwitting the relentless predator at her heels. The forest, once a sanctuary, transformed into a labyrinth of dread. As the moon hung low in the sky, Dani glimpsed a dilapidated cabin through the trees. Without hesitation, she sought refuge within its decaying walls, hoping to evade the clutches of her relentless pursuer. Inside the cabin, a sinister aura permeated the air. Dust-covered furniture lay frozen in time, remnants of a forgotten past. As Dani frantically searched for a hiding spot, she stumbled upon an old journal. The pages revealed the dark history of the cabin, a place tainted by the malevolent deeds of those who had sought refuge before her. As Dani delved into the journal's pages, a chilling tale unfolded. Decades ago, a series of gruesome murders had stained the very walls of the cabin she now sought shelter in. The details mirrored the horror she had recently escaped. The mysterious assailant, a sadistic killer known as the Phantom, had haunted the woods for generations. Legends spoke of a malevolent force that clung to the land, compelling individuals to carry out unspeakable acts. Dani's heart raced as she realized that she had unwittingly become entangled in the legacy of a vengeful spirit. Determined to uncover the truth, Dani pressed on, piecing together the fragments of the past. The journal spoke of rituals gone awry, a cursed bloodline, and a never-ending cycle of violence. As she reached the final entries, a haunting revelation struck her. The only way to break free from the Phantom's pursuit was to confront the dark secrets buried within the forest. Armed with newfound knowledge, Dani prepared to face the malevolent force that pursued her. The cabin's creaking floorboards echoed her determination as she ventured back into the ominous night, ready to confront the horrors that awaited her. The final chapter of her harrowing journey had yet to be written, and the forest held its breath in anticipation of the impending confrontation. The dense forest enveloped Dani as she cautiously navigated through the shadows, her eyes scanning the surroundings for any sign of the Phantom. The moon cast an eerie glow, casting long, ominous shadows that seemed to stretch and contort with each passing moment. The distant echoes of the pursuit persisted, a constant reminder of the malevolent force trailing her. As she delved deeper into the heart of the woods, Danny felt a subtle change in the air. The atmosphere became heavy with an otherworldly energy, and the very ground beneath her seemed to pulse with a dark rhythm. She knew she was drawing closer to the source of the ancient evil that gripped the forest. A clearing emerged ahead, bathed in an ethereal light that seemed to emanate from an ancient, gnarled tree at its center. The ominous silhouette of the phantom materialized, emerging from the shadows like a specter of the past. His eyes, void of humanity, fixated on Danny with a malevolent intensity. In that moment, Danny understood the gravity of her task. The only way to break the curse and free herself from the phantom's relentless pursuit was to confront the dark force that held sway over the forest. Steeling herself, she stepped into the clearing, ready to face the ancient evil that had haunted generations. As Danny and the phantom locked eyes, a surge of energy coursed through the air, creating an otherworldly tension. Unspoken words passed between them, and the forest seemed to hold its breath in anticipation. The weight of the past pressed upon Danny's shoulders, and she realized that her actions in the coming moments would determine the fate of not just herself, but the tormented spirits that lingered in the shadows. The standoff between Danny and the phantom unfolded like a macabre dance, each movement charged with supernatural energy. The air crackled with tension as ancient forces clashed in the moonlit clearing. Danny, fueled by a mix of fear and determination, summoned the strength to break the cycle that bound her to the phantom's vengeful pursuit. As the confrontation reached its zenith, Danny recalled the details from the journal. The curse's origin, the rituals gone awry, and the dark secrets that bound the malevolent spirit to the forest. With a surge of intuition, she realized that the key to breaking the curse lay in confronting the phantom's twisted past. With unwavering resolve, Danny began to recount the atrocities that had transpired in the very clearing where they stood. The unspeakable acts committed by the phantom's ancestors, the blood-soaked rituals that had bound their spirits to the land. As she spoke, the ancient tree at the center of the clearing seemed to shudder, its roots entangled with the curse's dark history. The phantom, initially resistant, began to waver under the weight of Danny's revelations. The malevolent force that had driven him for generations now contorted in anguish. The forest responded, the air vibrating with a palpable release of energy. In a climactic moment, the ancient tree's roots began to writhe, disentangling themselves from the curse that had bound them for centuries. The oppressive atmosphere lifted, and the moonlit clearing became a sanctuary, free from the shadows that had plagued it. As the last remnants of the curse dissipated, the phantom's form flickered like a dying ember. His eyes, once devoid of humanity, softened with a mix of sorrow and relief. With a final, haunting gaze, he dissipated into the night, leaving behind an echo of gratitude that resonated through the ancient trees. The forest, once a realm of malevolence, began to transform. The moonlight that filtered through the leaves seemed warmer, and a gentle breeze carried away the remnants of the curse. The ominous shadows receded, replaced by the soft glow of a new dawn. Danny, exhausted but triumphant, stood alone in the clearing. The weight that had haunted her since the beginning of her harrowing journey lifted. She felt a sense of closure, a connection to the ancient spirits who had found solace in her bravery. As the first rays of sunlight broke through the trees, Danny emerged from the once cursed forest. The memory of the phantom and the dark history that had ensnared her faded with each step. The vacation that began as a descent into hell had transformed into a tale of courage and redemption. Little did she know that her journey, entwined with the ancient forces of the forest, would become a whispered legend passed down through generations. The cursed cabin, now freed from the shadows of the past, stood as a testament to Danny's resilience and the enduring power of breaking the chains that bind. As Danny emerged from the haunted forest, the world outside seemed to breathe a sigh of relief. The once ominous trees now stood tall, their leaves shimmering in the gentle morning sunlight. The air, once thick with malevolence, felt crisp and rejuvenating. She returned to civilization, the scars of her nightmarish ordeal hidden beneath a facade of normalcy. The small town near the forest, oblivious to the supernatural battles fought in its midst, continued its daily routines. Dani, however, couldn't shake the feeling that the ancient spirits were watching over her, grateful for the release from their torment. Haunted by the memories of the phantom and the cursed cabin, Dani sought closure. She delved into historical archives, connecting the dots between the forest's dark past and the malevolent force that had pursued her. In her quest for understanding, she discovered that the forest's tale was etched in the town's forgotten history. The phantom's ancestors, driven by twisted motives, had invoked forces beyond their comprehension, sealing their fates and cursing the land. The tragic events had been buried in the annals of time, a cautionary tale that only resurfaced when a brave soul, like Dani, dared to challenge the shadows. Driven by a newfound purpose, Dani became a guardian of the forest's secrets. She dedicated herself to preserving the fragile balance between the natural world and the supernatural forces that lingered within. The once cursed cabin, now a symbol of redemption, became a sanctuary for those seeking refuge and a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Word of Dani's harrowing journey spread through the town, evolving into a whispered legend. The tale of the young woman who confronted the ancient curse and emerged victorious became a source of inspiration for generations to come. The once forgotten history of the haunted forest found its place in the town's folklore, a cautionary narrative passed down from elders to wide-eyed children. The forest, now free from the malevolent force, flourished with newfound vitality. Wildlife returned, and the ancient trees seemed to sway in gratitude. The once feared woods transformed into a haven for those seeking solace and contemplation. As Dani continued her life, the memories of that fateful night never truly left her. The haunted forest, though at peace, remained a part of her, a reminder of the thin veil between the mundane and the supernatural. She embraced her role as a guardian, ensuring that the legacy of redemption lived on, a beacon for those who dared to venture into the shadows. And so, the tale of Dani and the haunted forest became a chapter in the town's rich history, a story whispered around campfires and shared in hushed tones. The ancient spirits, now freed from their torment, watched over the land with a sense of gratitude, knowing that their legacy was one of redemption and the enduring strength of the human spirit. Life for Dani settled into a semblance of normalcy, but the haunted forest lingered in her thoughts. She couldn't shake the feeling that the ancient spirits, once tormented by a malevolent force, were not entirely at rest. A subtle intuition tugged at her, urging her to delve deeper into the mysteries that still clung to the edges of her consciousness. Haunted by a sense of responsibility, Dani began researching ancient rituals and folklore, seeking clues about the nature of the curse that had ensnared the forest for generations. As she delved into dusty tomes and consulted local historians, a cryptic pattern began to emerge. It appeared that the curse was intricately tied to an ancient artifact, a talisman of unspeakable power that had been lost to time. Legends spoke of a sacred ritual gone awry, the talisman's malevolent influence, and the subsequent curse that plagued the forest. Armed with this knowledge, Dani felt compelled to unearth the artifact and break the remaining chains that bound the spirits. Dani embarked on a quest, driven by a newfound determination to uncover the secrets that still lurked in the shadows. Guided by ancient texts and the faint whispers of the spirits, she traced the origins of the talisman to an ancient shrine hidden deep within the heart of the forest. The journey was treacherous, fraught with challenges that tested Dani's resolve. The forest seemed to come alive, responding to her quest with both resistance and assistance. As she neared the shrine, an ethereal glow emanated from within, a testament to the artifact's lingering power. Upon reaching the shrine, Dani found herself in a chamber adorned with symbols and remnants of the ill-fated ritual. At the center lay the ancient talisman, pulsating with a dark energy that sent shivers down her spine. Undeterred, she knew that breaking the curse required confronting the artifact head-on.